Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cookies Enabled. I am Will, your host. Next to me here is Andrew. He is driving currently, so his window may resize a few times on me here, and I'm very sorry about that. I'm going to do my best to keep it a minimal resize rate, but hopefully we can get that locked in here. But yeah, so far so good. We got a great show for you guys today. A lot of weird news and very little space news, which is okay. But Andrew, you just had a little adventure, so I'll drop over to you here.
Disclaimer, I am not driving. I am the passenger, so I'm not doing anything unsafe.
Right.
You saw my fun purple hair from last
Yep.
and today I have something new. I got my industrial piercing finally.
It does look very good.
Petoskey, Michigan.
Petoskey, gotcha. Great place to go visit.
A fantastic place. It did not hurt at all. I thought I was going to feel it a lot more than I did. They were great. There will be a random day discoveries coming in within the next week. I'm going to edit. I got permission to record it, and I am going to edit a short video to tell you guys how it went through, and definitely go advertise for them. If you're in Northern Michigan, if you want tattoos or piercings, you're going to want to go to this place. Very professional, great job to all of them. If I drop out during any of this, everybody, I apologize. We are driving back, and there are some dead spots between Petoskey and Charlevoix, so I'm going to try to keep
it
a
little hilly there. Again, keep resizing, so I'm doing my best to keep you in frame here, everybody. Sorry about that. It's going to be a lot of me moving this picture around, probably.
We'll just jump right in then. SpaceX news before I lose service. It might. Absolutely amazing and successful launch last week, Wednesday, probably 3-4 hours after we ended our stream. The Inspiration 4 launch went off without a hitch. They spent 3 days in orbit, and I believe Will has advised them from Twitter. Absolutely incredible from this launch. It wasn't just like Richard Branson with Virgin Galactic's suborbital flight, or from the Blue Origin suborbital flight. These 4 people raising money. They raised over $200 million for St. Jude's Research.
Oh my gosh!
Elon Musk donated $50,000 himself personally.
Nice. Very nice.
That is absolutely incredible. Hats off to them. It was a very successful flight. They had many scientific experiments on the flight. It wasn't just let's go and enjoy orbit. It was let's go do something that actually makes a difference.
Right, absolutely.
An ending point, something that they were working towards. And 3 days, they did it. And my favorite part was this video, and he'll play this in a second, of the first moment they open the cupola.
I have it just playing right now.
The largest intact window ever to fly in space. From, 2001: A Space Odyssey. The music also spoke Zarathustra.
It looks like it was so much fun for these people, and they actually really did, like you said, scientific research and things up there. It wasn't just a vanity, like, oh, we put people in space. They actually were doing experiments and things up there, which is huge. So.
Von Weber, I believe, was the composer. We've heard the song, and it is just, you watch these people just, their jaws drop in awe, seeing the entire globe above them, underneath them, however you want to orient yourself in zero gravity. I'd be a sobbing mess if I were out there.
Yeah, I don't.
It would be incredible to see a sight like that. One of the early Apollo astronauts was saying, when he came back, he said, with everything going on at Earth, I want to take every politician and grab them by the collar and show them that, say, look at that. So you can what actually is happening and how tight we are. It was an incredible mission, Apollo. I'm so happy for how everything went.
Yeah, I too. This went really, really well, and I mean, was very much a huge success, 100% success, I'd say. I mean, everything they wanted to achieve, they were able to. It's definitely cool. I did retweet this on our Twitter. If you guys are interested and want to do more diving, this is part of a Netflix series. I think that's going to be coming out pretty soon here, according to the description above.
I believe so.
Because I tried to find this video on YouTube and I was not able to find that particular clip. They've got a lot of clips, but not that one. And I think that's because Netflix probably has that one. Hopefully they don't flag me for sharing that with everybody here. But I mean, it's already on Twitter, so it's not like, a big deal.
Switch it out here for a second. I'm still here, so don't...
Oh, no, you're still here. Yes, I still hear you. You are coming and going a bit more now, unfortunately. You did have one other thing to share with us. We're starting a new section here with these memes, and man, they are hilarious. Now, we're finding new memes every week and trying to bring you something funny that's either science-y related or, nerdy, geeky related. So this is definitely a good one. I'm going to put this up on the screen here for you. This is the one you just sent me, and this is awesome. It says, my wife is getting her hair done, and I told her to watch out for turtles. Which obviously is because she's got all that aluminum foil in her hair.
Some of the kids might not get that joke, and that's sad. And if you're young and you don't get the joke, watch the old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movies.
Take you long.
They were classic.
Yeah.
They were horrible, but they were great. And honestly, there was the animated one from maybe a decade ago. That broke some barriers in CGI. There were some scenes. Once I remember.
I think we're losing you again.
It was small turtle, and it was.
Yeah, unfortunately, we didn't get any of that. You're breaking up super bad. I think we're starting to lose you again, unfortunately. But you have now officially frozen.
Right.
Oh, there you go. Now you're back. And this is the problem with Upper Michigan, everybody, especially with cell service. It is not best up there.
Hopefully, once they open Starlink up here, there'll be some better capabilities. Yeah. I know that Starlink will have their receivers for homes.
Right.
It would be really nice if they were to make something available for 5G Wi-Fi.
Right.
So you could link to Starlink from your
even
phone
your card. You could have like a satellite radio kind of thing. You could put like a little magnetic dish on top of your car and give your whole car Wi-Fi, which would be kind of cool. So that's an option as well. I mean, some cars already have that built in these days. But, mine doesn't.
Receivers work, so maybe existing 5G receivers could pick up Starlink. Cool. That would be great for the situations, especially if you're driving. Might happen in 2 or 3 years once they have the full satellite constellation going and they figure out how to miniaturize everything. We'll see. But I mean, up here you don't have internet choices to begin with, and a lot of them aren't that good.
They're terrible. They're expensive, and you don't get a good speed or like amount of data. You're always throttled essentially, and you can only use so much usually. Maybe because you're sharing it with your whole neighborhood. And that is hopefully going to change pretty soon here. In the next probably 5 to 10 years, and we're really going to see that's probably going to become a thing of the past. But who knows? Fingers crossed there. But thank you for sharing that awesome meme with us, because it is awesome.
You had one?
I do have one, yes. So I also found one. I misplaced it on my list here, so bear with me really quick. Oh, here it is. Awesome. I mislabeled it. But there we are. So this one, I don't know if you can see the bottom, unfortunately. My email address is kind of in the way, but he's like... So this is Obi-Wan Kenobi and Darth Vader, and they are fighting. It's one of the infamous scenes, and I want to say Empire Strikes Back. Shame on me, because I honestly don't remember, and I could be very wrong on that one. But it's one of the 3 originals.
Trust me, I know.
So he goes to kind of distract Vader so he can kind of escape and get away, and throws this like little bag of sand at him. But we're all thinking it's sand, like, and he's like, no, and it's somehow it's like get into his ventilator or whatever. I freaking love this because it's so fucking hilarious.
because of the second movie. What was it? Attack of the Clones.
Yes.
The member talking to Padme about I hate sand, of course, and it gets everywhere. And so what is Obi gonna do? He's gonna fight him with sand.
I mean, it's awesome. We've all been there where you've been at the beach all day too, and you get home and you stick your hand in your pocket and sand comes out. So that's exactly the situation here too. Poor Obi-Wan defeating Darth Vader with the pocket sand. So thank you to many of my friends for sharing some great news this week. I had a really hard time choosing when I was going to share. I think there was a Willy Wonka one that I was really close to sharing, but I just decided against it. I'm a huge Willy Wonka fan, so I love that as well. But maybe I'll save it for next week. If I don't see anything else that beats it, I'll share it next week. But anyway.
Yeah, I'm curious what that one's going to be.
You were breaking up again. What was that?
Send that meme to me at some point. I want to see what it is.
Yeah, it was actually the one. The Willy Wonka one. I'll have to dig that one out on my Facebook. It's been a minute, but oh yes, I will have to grab that for you. Now you also last week you were talking about a superconductor. I did not get a chance to read that article yet, actually, but I did see a couple other articles come out talking about that exact same thing. So it's definitely catching wind.
I noticed that after we mentioned it, people there were more articles coming out. It basically broke the world record for a magnetic field, which is very that's necessary for fusion generators. And this superconducting magnet, it runs at lower temperatures. It creates a much higher magnetic field, and that's what you need. I mean, we're talking plasma that could, at its temperatures, easily melt any metal that we create. So how do you keep that reacting without melting the device? You have to use extremely strong magnetic fields to hold it in place far enough away from the container that it doesn't melt it. So the stronger the magnet means the stronger the magnetic field to hold it, and it means the higher the temperature we can get in fusion, which is what's necessary to eventually get to the point where it's a self-sustained fusion.
You're actually getting output. You don't have to continuously start it or ignite it or anything like that.
You're creating millions of times more energy than is put in the machine. It's the solution to the energy crisis that's going on forever, getting away from fossil fuels, and we're getting a little bit closer every day.
Yep,
Russia, and now we're seeing these new magnets. And we talked, last week or the week before on the superconductor at room temperature. That's going to change everything if we can scale that up. One single fusion generator could provide enough energy for production if we can get it to the point that it's self-sustaining, like the sun has its own fusion generator. And we're getting closer.
Like really, really, really close. And this is cool. I got the video you're seeing now from the website or the university that they actually engineered this new superconductor. And the guy's kind of trying to explain to you how this new device works with this like little screw and these little tongs coming off of it. It's kind of cool, but it's really boring. So I will share this in the comments for you guys, though. And there's other articles that I did find as well. I'm going to dive into them as soon as I'm down here, because this is really, this is a huge backbone to, like Andrew was saying, to fusion science. It's really going to connect us to replacing fossil fuels and trying to clean up our mess, essentially, of the environment. This is going to be a huge cornerstone of that. So thank you for sharing that. That's really cool. I surprisingly, again, I didn't see anything over the last couple of weeks, and then this last week I saw like 2 or 3 articles about this one semiconductor. So or superconductor. Yes, now I can hear you.
My Bluetooth off. Give me a second, it'll work.
Yeah, I was gonna say you've been in and out, but now you're officially back. I hear you now. So, now in other news, Michigan may be the first to get road or in-road EV chargers. And out of all 50 states, and this is kind of not, I mean, I guess it's not a surprise to me because Michigan's always been a big car-centric minded, atmosphere. We're huge in that, because General Motors mainly in Detroit. So this was actually Governor Whitmer's idea, and I'm going to put her picture up here. This is her at the latest convention where she announced the idea. This was taken yesterday, actually. She's looking great, having a good, grand old time, learning all about these new EV vehicles that are coming out from Ford and GM and whatnot. New trucks and SUVs. I'm not talking about any of those on the show, but they will be charging with special under-road chargers. So they're not built into the asphalt. They're actually going to be underneath the road. So it's kind of in between the dirt layer of the road and asphalt. So it's not actually, if there's a pothole or something, you're not actually spewing electricity from the pothole, if that makes sense. I can't hear you. I mean, I'm sorry. I've lost your audio this time again. Unfortunately. Oh, there we go. Now I got you. Ta-da!
Like wireless charging for your car, just like you do with your phone.
Yes, exactly. Just like phone. This is exactly the same technology. And any hybrid car that's a hybrid electric or that has, even that's just purely electric, can easily be modified to drive on these roads. Now, it won't be every single lane of the road either. It will only be interstates to start with, and I think they're probably only going to do a couple of main ones that kind of connect probably from Detroit to Chicago, most likely, and more or less Grand Rapids and the rest, essentially, which would be 131 and I-94, maybe I-96, and I think that also changes as well. But I wasn't able to find a video of how this works, even though they have been doing this for years in public, but I did find a real live photo of what these chargers look like and how they test them. So this is actually done in Europe, and this is where they came up with the idea. As you can tell, that is not an American car. I think it's an Alfa Romeo, which is awesome, and it's just one of those like little dinky, smart cars that's just all electric. These are the giant, like rectangular wireless emitters that are placed obviously underneath that concrete layer or asphalt layer, and they can actually penetrate both. And again, it just needs to be within about a couple feet. And as you can see, there's multiple repeated ones. So let's say you're taking a long distance trip, from
driving.
Yes, yeah. And so let's say you're halfway there and you need to get some juice in your car. You just go over to this lane and it'll start juicing you up. And then when you're done with the lane, you can just move back to the regular traffic. So you're not supposed to stay in the lane. It's kind of like a ride share lane or something like that. Only you're going to get juice from it too. Like a carpool lane, but not going to get some awesome power. So,
well, making some big advances with EV vehicles,
yeah.
even with what's it, autopilot and all
Right.
that. My brother, my sister's husband,
Right.
he's going to be working with the startup soon that
Cool.
is working on sensors along roadways
Okay.
that help to communicate to these
Right.
autopilot vehicles.
Sure.
We're going to see a lot of advancements in that coming soon, I'm quite sure.
Oh yeah, I would be surprised if we don't. Yeah, so this would be huge, and I think this might also give more people a reason to switch from a gas vehicle to an electric vehicle, especially if you don't have to have a plug in your house and you don't have to find special charging stations or have a job they have a charging station. You could just drive to work and charge your car to and from, which is really cool. I'm sorry.
That one. Can it charge you?
I don't know. I wouldn't be able to. We're gonna have to test that.
You could always just plug your phone into the USB in your car and charge it from what you're getting from the road.
Exactly.
But just being in a field that is strong enough to charge your devices would be interesting. You may have to worry to some extent on the levels of electromagnetic radiation. It's not anything I know, but if it's strong enough, it could possibly cause some issues. I'm not quite sure.
Right. We'll see how this goes. I'm always thinking about winter time, and you throw a foot of snow and a couple inches of ice on here. How is this gonna? You know what I'm saying? Like, unless this is also heating the ground and melting that snow away. I've seen that done in downtown Kalamazoo as well as Ann Arbor. with heated streets, and they use steam or electric just to kind of heat the street up, melt everything away. You don't have to shovel, no ice, no salt, none of that worries. And it works unless you get really crazy wind chills. Yeah.
The that we're talking for charging cars though is not going to heat, which is a good thing.
Exactly. Yeah. So this should be really, I think this is going to be better for everyone. And to think that Michigan is hopefully going to be the first. I know Ohio and Indiana are working on similar designs for their toll roads, as well as just charging stations set up around gas stations where you'd be able to pull off and charge, and like a little rest stop essentially. We actually have these already starting to pop up all over the place in Michigan. And I've actually seen several rest stops that have been completely refitted as like charging stations and kind of like a mini stop area. So hopefully that becomes a new trend. Hopefully. Fingers crossed there.
Charging stations that we have for Tesla.
Yes. Very similar to that. I know like in the UK, they've already got like super fast charger stations, which are supposedly 3 times faster than a regular charger station. So if you're in a rush and you don't have a lot of time to charge, you know, you can plug in for 15 minutes and get maybe 60 or 80 miles or something, which would be about 3 or 4 gallons of gas normally. So like, you know, really quick little charge. So
the station or in the west, like near California, near the Tesla.
Right.
Like,
I think I'm losing you again.
Yeah, the city sucks for.
Oh man, yeah. Usually cities are a little better, but it just depends on the city. But yes. So we've got 2 other things here. Sorry, I'm kind of jumping around. But yeah, EV charger cars. Definitely live in Michigan. Keep an eye out for your local highways because they may be coming to you very soon. Now I saw on YouTube earlier this week while I was writing literally episodes for Cookies Enabled, and it blew my mind. I actually stopped what I was doing to watch. So I'm going to play this video for you. This is called a gravity jet suit, and you'll see why it is called this, because it literally looks like they took mini jet engines and strapped them to a human, and they allow you to fly around. Now, I don't know if anybody ever watched The Rocketeer growing up. Was an old Disney movie. It's on Disney Plus. If you have not watched it, go take a look.
It's actually pretty solid. It's based on a comic.
It is. It is totally based on a comic. They did a fantastic job with that movie. I mean, the villain, it's very kiddish. But this is technically the same idea, essentially. It's like jet engine propulsion. You've got 2 on your back, 2 on each arm, and you use those to kind of steer yourself around. Now, obviously, the military's been using things like this for a while. And have been perfecting it. Now it is becoming a privatized thing. You can buy these suits for about $5,000 a piece, and you have to
do those. It's based on your arms. Like an Iron Man. There was somebody actually worked with the company I'm thinking of. We'll have to put it in our description. Yeah. But they did in their homemade 3D printed original Mark I Iron Man suit. Like
that's so cool. Oh man. Oh, that would be so awesome. And it really wouldn't be too hard to do. I mean, you can see that these guys are really easily able to maneuver around. I mean, they're super loud. I turned the sound off so you guys cannot see them or hear them. But if you do go back and you want to watch these later on YouTube, here it literally sounds like jet engine is, it's rearing up, ready to go and flying away. And this is so cool. I don't even care if you look like Mary Poppins. I totally do this. Like, this looks like so much fun. Now, this is another video that I found from the same company. Again, doing more testing on how this could help the ground carry, maybe get through obstacles or around, and grab people or whatever the situation may be. These suits could be very helpful. I find it ironic that they're also driving Tesla cars to this location because it has the gull doors that open, So it's definitely Tesla. But yeah, so these videos are really awesome. I thought I'd show you these and share these with you. Again, if you got an extra $5,000 or $10,000 lying around, you can totally go to the website and not only buy one of these, but you have to also sign up for the classes to learn how to fly it, because you can't just like, oh, okay, I got it, here I go. It's not like total plug and play here. You got to learn how to fly, essentially.
Because mobile, so I don't have our live. We've tried. When he shares the screen, I can see the OBS live stream. It
It
hates
does.
me because I'm not
Yeah, and
on
our Skype agent doesn't like
But
us either. Oh, but yeah, no, these are really cool demonstrations. These guys like flying around, landing on like second or third story of buildings, and then like shooting the dude or whatever, and then flying over to the next building. And obviously you'd be able to hear the guys moving around. These jetpacks are not silent by any means necessary at all. But it definitely allows the person to move so fast and get to areas that are easily inaccessible to normal people with a jetpack, that this could definitely change our military quite a bit. Now, I don't think this is something we're going to see popping up on military anytime soon. Again, they're still too expensive, and until the private sector starts picking them up, I really don't think this is going to take off. But I don't expect people to be flying around in jetpacks anytime soon. The only other thing I could think of, they might actually give people could buy maybe 10 of these suits and have like a airsoft field or something, and allow people to fly around and use the suits there with just minor training and stuff, kind of like paintball guns or airsoft. It's kind of the same way. We've got more flying around ability, which is kind of cool. But I can only imagine the insurance and stuff that would go along with that. Going to be really expensive, but could totally be worth it. Again, check out these videos. Check out that website. It is Gravity Jet, I think, gravityjet.com. We'll post it in the sources below. I know it's not there right now. Sorry about that, everybody. And it looks like you're out of the car. I just realized. Do I still? Tiny. Trying to fix that. But anyway, my last thing that I wanted to talk about today was Microsoft literally this morning released a whole bunch of new technology. They claim it's 8 new devices, and it's really not. It's actually 4 new devices and 2 accessories is really how they should have categorized it, because that's really how it went down. So I'm going to break that all down for you. I watched the full hour-long press release. Oh, puppy dog. Oh, my goodness. Oh, that's adorable.
Everybody, that's
Gypsy.
Gypsy. That's one of our dogs. She was actually, she was a service dog. My sister-in-law was the caretaker for an elderly woman, and when sadly passed away, my sister-in-law was the only one that this dog would trust.
Right.
And she asked, will you take care of her? And obviously, she said, and she is absolutely.
That's awesome.
She still all of her training. She can actually help you take off.
Oh, wow.
Sweater.
That's awesome.
If something out there and you say Gypsy,
she
will go and pick it up and bring it to you.
Huh.
No, she's adorable. She ran out. She just wanted to make it.
Wow, that's cool. No, that's awesome. I love that. I have no problem with that. So let me jump right into these the Surface stuff. So this was mainly all Surface release, which has been around for a while. So Microsoft started doing the it's essentially their version of the iPad. It just has Windows on it. It's the only difference, really. And we've seen these kinds of magnetic keyboards from Dell and Lenovo and Acer, and they actually mention that their competitors are working directly with them to try to make the best experience for Windows 11. And I definitely don't doubt that, because they've spent a lot of time engineering these new technologies. And the first one I'm definitely going to show you here is the standard Microsoft Surface 8. So this is the newest one that came out. There's actually 2 versions of this. There's a Surface 8, and then there's the Surface Go, which is apparently like a smaller version of this, or a more condensed version for maybe kids, is really what they were demonstrating it in the video. Now, the regular Surface is more for workers and or artists, and they really spent a lot of time working with the new pen that they have, which they just showed you here. And this new slim pen actually has a haptic feedback to it. So as you're drawing on the screen, it's supposed to feel like you're drawing on paper, and it gives you feedback based on how much you press and push and pull and whatnot. So it's all really based on movement of the screen, which is really cool. This is a huge step up from before, and it wirelessly charges It has a little holster right on the front of the keyboard. I mean, they really thought of literally everything here. They even included, surprisingly, Thunderbolt 4, which kind of blew my mind because that's really an Apple. And Apple's been shifting away from Thunderbolt suddenly and it's replacing it with USB-C. And now all of a sudden, Microsoft's jumped on the Thunderbolt wagon. So,
and like your Wacom tablets for graphic artists, we've had that pressure sensitive. It seems like they're now just incorporating it finally into tablets.
They are, yeah. They're finally just getting to this, which is sad because Andrew's saying this has been around, especially if you've had Apple tablets and technology. This has been around for pretty much day one. So they're just now getting around to it. This is only the second rendition of the pen, which is actually kind of surprising because they've done 8 versions of the tablet. So that I don't know where the pen got lost anyway. So they didn't really focus too much on the pen and more on the power of this particular iPad, or Surface 8 is apparently twice as fast as the Surface 7 and has apparently 30 times the graphic processing power as predecessor as well. So they crammed a crap ton of bells and whistles into this thing. I don't know if it's necessarily officially a laptop killer yet. I don't think so, but it's getting really super close. So now the second device was huge last year, and it was the Microsoft Duo, which is a dual screen device. There's 2 separate screens, not the same, that actually have a fold or a separate in between the screens, and it looks like a little book, and you fold it together. It does use Windows 11 now. This is 2 will anyway, and this one is, again, they're just pushing the fact of productivity and how much you can do with that second screen, as well as they put 3 cameras into it for some reason to give you, I guess, a better, more realistic, dynamic lens array. Apparently, you're going to be able to get good close-ups, good far aways, as well as do all kinds of fun stuff with the image quality. And they also crammed the Snapdragon 888 processor, which is the same as what Samsung's been using in all their latest devices, so it is definitely fast. I did not mention RAM or storage at all, so that is probably where they're back on this device. But as you can see, they crammed a fingerprint sensor in there, and they actually add curved edges to the screen that makes it look more like a book and function more like a book as you close it, and actually uses that inseam as a notification bar. So it'll actually light up and show you, oh, you've missed 2 emails and 3 text messages and 1 phone call or something, because you can actually use that as a phone too. We'll have built-in 5G, and apparently the screen has 500 million pixels crammed onto it, so your resolution is going to be amazing apparently. But again, this is not out for review yet, so I have no clue how this is going to go. First one was really a total flop. It was really good on paper, but everybody that I know and like to watch the reviews hated it. So we'll see how this one is. It looks like this one's a little bit more user-friendly. If you're trying to replace your phone and want it to be more of a computer, this is where you're going to want to go. Again, I just went to the Samsung Ultra, and that's very much like a computer if you want it to be, but I just don't see this taking off, honestly. So
They come up with. I mean, Microsoft honestly has been. I feel like they've been innovating a little more than Apple or some of the others have over the last few years.
I'd say they're definitely trying. Now that they own Nokia and they are their own manufacturer, that's made a huge difference for them because they don't have to play ball with like Acer or anything anymore. They just go make it themselves and start that industry standard just like Apple did. And so I think that's where they're catching up a little bit.
They're manufacturing their own chipsets and everything. That's going to be
that's huge.
Very different. It's going to be interesting to see where
super cool. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Microsoft's going to jump onto that. Probably in the next maybe 10 years, I could see them starting to come up with their own chips. But they have such a good, rapport with Intel that I just can't see them, burning that bridge just yet. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon anyway. We will see, though, because I know Intel is definitely not nice to play with. And that's one reason, screw you, we can do it better. And so far, they weren't wrong, so we'll see about that. The last thing I wanted to show you guys from Microsoft's press conference was probably the coolest thing I've seen in a really long time. And it's actually probably cooler than those Gravity Jets. It looks like a standard studio laptop. And this is their studio version of Surface. There's only been 3 of them, so this is the 3rd version. And the last one looked like a desktop computer with a giant bendable screen. You could put it at all these different positions and stuff. And that made it, more of like office friendly or artist friendly. You could kind of go between the two. So to start out here, they really start talking about all the hardware. They crammed a buttload of graphics and Intel quad-core processors, RAM, all kinds of, again, Thunderbolt 4 is displayed on here. Advanced cooling systems we've never seen before. I think it's a really sleek design for the most part. And we haven't even gotten to the best part yet, which is the technically bendable or breakaway display. So that is probably the coolest part about it here, and they're about to display that in about 2 seconds in video. So she's going to grab this corner of the screen and she's going to kind of flex it, and the whole screen pops out of the hinge and allows you to cover up the whole keyboard, and now it becomes a tablet. So you don't need that touchpad. It gives you all these different options for, again, eliminating the keyboard if you just want to draw on the screen and do work that way. Screw having to put your hand on the keyboard and lock it. Now you can just put the whole screen on the keyboard and just go. And it's also a little different approach from the Yogas that we've seen, where you have to flip the screen all the way around and the keyboard's on the other side. So that eliminates that problem as well. Sorry, say again?
Those tablets have been around for a while. I had one.
Yeah.
You flip it open and you fold it backwards, and it's.
Yeah.
Had the sensors disengage the keyboard because the keyboard would be laying on your lap when you're doing
Yes.
But it always felt weird and awkward. But you know what? I had a laptop of my own back in the mid '90s that had a screen. You could open a class, detach it, flip
it over onto the keyboard. Yeah.
The thing was this thick. It was a brick. But
I'm sure it worked amazingly well, though. I mean, it was exactly what you wanted, though, right? I mean, it gave you that flexibility when you needed it. So.
Windows for workgroups.
Yes.
That's all.
Oh my God. That's not new. If anybody knows Workbooks, oh God, that was a nightmare. I don't know what Microsoft's doing then.
95. We're talking 1990, 1991 laptops.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that was ouch. That was definitely not the best time to buy a laptop. Honestly. That was also when like every 3-4 months they would change everything, new processors and new RAM and graphic cards, and I mean everything you just bought was obsolete suddenly. And like, yeah. So now this I think is definitely not going to become obsolete, but I also think this is also very much a niche market. I don't see people losing their minds to go out and buy this new Surface Studio. I think it is a generically interesting idea, and I think they present it in a very fashionable way that makes it look classy. It makes it look like something. It's almost an art piece. You almost want to have it around because it looks kind of cool. But unless you're an artist or an engineer or something where you're constantly having to touch and write and draw on the screen and you hate your current setup, this might be a replacement for you. Otherwise, I just don't see how, I mean, they're really pushing this as a desktop replacer, but it's more or less like get rid of that laptop and that tablet because this is really all you're going to need. And so that was really it for the excitement of what they announced technology-wise. They did come out with a new mouse that is made out of, I think they said 80% recycled plastic from the ocean, and it allows you to send your old mouse back to them to be recycled so it doesn't end up in a trash bin, which is also pretty cool. So they're trying to start that recycling trend, but that's not really like a new product you're going to go buy. I'm not going to buy a new mouse just because it's recycled plastic from the ocean. It's cool, but I like my current Logitech and I don't need a new one. So, you know. And the final thing they announced was actually more the handy, for people that have all kinds of just natural disabilities or any kind of disability. Maybe you're hard hearing, or you have issues with your vision, or you know, in the case of the video or the press release, they had one of their key designers who has cerebral palsy. So he was explaining the issues that he's had with his technology over the years with his disease. And so he was sitting down with one of their other engineers and going over all these new pretty much add-ons you can get to your computer that make it easier for people with disabilities to use. If you're blind, there are special key strokes you can get that stick to your keys that allow you to feel the keys a lot better and figure out what you're touching on the keyboard, since no keys even really have anything on them anymore for you to feel. And you don't have to buy a whole nother computer just with a special keyboard on it. So that was kind of cool. And they also had other things you could attach to the like tablets and laptops and whatnot that make them easier to figure out where ports are to things. Again, if maybe you're blind or you have really hard of sight, you just can't figure out what port is what. Now you can label them with different feeling sensors, essentially. Oh, this one's USB and this one's Thunderbolt and this one's the power. And so that way you don't have to guess. You can just feel it and you can just go with it. And they even had a tie that you put onto the charger cable side, so oh, that's the right cable too, because it's the same feeling sensation as the one on the computer. So they really, really, really thought everything through, and I got to give it to them. I mean, it's kind of impressive, but that, again, it's a niche market that they are pushing for here. An
important part of the community.
Oh, huge, absolutely.
Anybody with a disability, they are so underrepresented.
Absolutely.
Handicap accessible,
right.
Blind, deaf. I mean,
yep.
Many times I've run in, interacted with someone at work,
right?
A customer that comes in and they are deaf, and
right.
they have to write, what they want to order on a piece of paper. And I've lost a few times. There've been once in a while I've had an employee or someone working with me that knows sign language.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I would, just tell one moment.
One moment, yeah, one.
Like, hey, come on out.
Yeah.
Every time that happens, they are so thankful because it makes their life so much
exactly.
easier. And honestly, I should learn sign language.
Yeah,
everybody
should. Yeah, it really should be a universal language for everybody. Honestly, it's not hard to learn.
Yeah, it's something I think everybody should learn, and I think I'm going to. Maybe I'll chronicle my learning of sign language for a video series.
There you go.
Stage.
I love it. Why not?
We could live stream a class where we learn basics.
Yes.
Or something. That could be something we could do one day. No, it allows these people to feel more inclusive in society.
Right.
It's very important. The fact that some of these companies are starting to finally market their products
to make it easier. Yeah, that's exactly what Microsoft's trying to do. They're like, if you're going to spend $1,000 some on a tablet, we want to make sure you can use the tablet. So.
And they're not going to make a ton of money, but it's what's important.
Right. And it's what matters. Like, it's a huge, like you said, it's a part of the market that really no one's that I know of has really jumped into or even tried to, especially a big company like Microsoft or Apple. Do little things here and there, but I've never seen them do something like this. I mean, this was a whole little packet that you get. They had like a lanyard, all these different things that you could attach to different parts of the computers and whatnot, just to make it easier for you, So, which was so cool and really, really thoughtful. I mean, it just shows that their engineers are trying to go above and beyond. And it's obvious. This was the first time I think that I've really saw them pulling from people's stories, essentially, and not just from what their engineers were trying to do next or what they could do better or something, because that's also part of it. But they also want to make sure it was something the users were going to want to use and that we're going to be excited about. And honestly, I got to say, I think their Surface Pro 8s, I've always loved the Surface Pros and Surfaces. They've always been really good, and I think the 8 is probably going to be one of the best we've seen in a while. I don't know about the Surface Studio. I'm hoping some reviews will come out so I can get a chance to see. Again, it's more of like a laptop tablet thing. I don't even know what to call it. A lab-able? I don't know. It's a weird situation there, so we'll see how people jump on that bandwagon. But hopefully, that was it for their press conference today. And they did officially announce that October 5th is when they will start rolling out Windows 11 across the country and the world. You may not be the first wave of computers to get the notification on the 5th, so don't be all freaked out if it's not like, oh my gosh, I can't download it. They're going to do it in a way just so their servers don't crash or do anything stupid in the process. So That's why they got to do that.
From that.
Yep.
Well, we'll see what happens,
Yes.
and drop a comment down below. Let us know what you think about that. Let us know what you think about learning ASL.
Seriously.
Do it.
Seriously.
We can, figure it out. We can at least come up with some basic or know enough. Everybody should.
Yeah.
Let's make everything more inclusive as possible to anybody with any difference in ability.
Right.
It's
huge.
Important.
Yeah, it's very important. So kudos, because that's awesome, and I really think I know it's going to help a lot of people. And I was actually really surprised it even took like almost a whole 15-minute segment right in the middle of it just to break it all down, show you how it worked and how this was going to go, and where you could get it, and how it's helpful to just one specific disability or whatever. There's a broad spectrum of them, which is super awesome because it's not easy. So life is definitely not easy, and this should definitely help. So, but yes, that was pretty much all the news we had for today, and I think that
next I want to touch on Nintendo, because apparently tomorrow we're going to have a big release. Andy seems to think we might finally get a full name or more descriptions or trailer for Breath of the Wild 2.
Yes, I'm hoping to as well. Hoping.
So we will touch on that next week for sure.
Oh, yes.
I'll give an up on how my piercing is doing.
Oh, yes.
Wonderful spray to take care
of
it.
Definitely a good idea.
In probably 2 or 3 days, I will have my next episode of Random Day Discoveries. It's not really a discovery, but it's something random that happened today. I was planning on getting my piercing tomorrow.
Right.
But I got a day off work today because our water cooler broke, and you can't really run a restaurant with hot water.
No.
So
it's kind of critical.
And I decided, you know what? Let's just do it today.
Might as well.
Let me film it. So I'll post it'll be like a 5-minute video.
Cool.
I'll have a little intro. She recorded all of the procedure. Talked about what she was going through. It was really cool. It was fun. It'll be a fun new video up on our channel. And again, October 4th.
Yes.
About a week and a half from now.
Really close. We're getting there.
I'm going to be starting probably tomorrow or the day after.
Cool.
I'm probably going to start heavy duty editing.
I've got at least, I think, 3 episodes ready to go. So.
From staring at Premiere for a while. It's just
right. Oh man.
Yeah, we got some for everybody.
Awesome.
So, like and subscribe.
Definitely.
As always.
Definitely. Don't forget to share. Again, if you got any questions, comments, concerns, you didn't like something, you want us to hit us something, go really into detail. Use that email down below here. I check it every day, and or hit us up on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We're on all those as well. But anyways, I know I learned something today, and I hope you guys did too. I want to say thank you again for everybody for tuning in, and I will see you all later. You guys have a great day.